Hey, everybody. Here we go again. Welcome to another episode of Morgan County Movers and Shakers. Today, oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank on your last name. I usually write everything down.
Yes,
I call him PT or Pastor Tracy.
Reynolds.
Tracy Reynolds. That's right. Owner of Reynolds Property Plantation down here.
Yeah, right.
Not
Yeah, and my dad started Reynolds Aluminum,
yeah,
tobacco company.
yeah. Okay.
Highly affluent.
Pastor Tracy is our pastor here at Grace Fellowship Madison, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about the church and about the community that he's gotten involved with and see what he thinks about it. We're so excited for you to join us today, Pastor Tracy. Do you want me to call you Pastor Tracy, or
You just call me for dinner. My mom called me Tracy, and that's just fine with
Tracy?
me.
Okay. And
It's my pleasure to be a part.
this is awesome. I'm so glad that you've agreed to do this for us.
Thanks for asking, Chief.
And hopefully people can find out a little bit about Grace Fellowship
Sure,
Madison. Okay,
sure.
sounds good. So tell us a little bit about, I know the structure here is a little bit different than most churches. Can you kind of tell us how it's set up?
Mhm. Well, we're part of Grace Fellowship. Our home church is in Watkinsville. Tony Vismor is the senior pastor. He's been with us for about 20 years. My wife Lisa and I are actually charter members of the church. We're a part of the Church of God. And a couple of years ago, we were asked to consider helping out with this particular church, which had gone through some difficult times. And we, after about a year of praying and considering that, I've been here almost a year, Jan.
I know,
And
crazy.
so I came down just as a host pastor for about 6 weeks. And during the course of that time, I fell in love with the community and people, and I wanted to do more. And the Sunday I left here on a Sunday, burst into tears as I left the parking lot because I realized I wouldn't be here for 3 weeks, and I made me really sad. The next day, my pastor says to me, "Hey, we need a campus pastor down there." And before I could get my hand up, the other guy who was helping Dave Ham raised his hand and said, "Well, I'll be glad to do that, Pastor." I'm going, "Yeah, okay." Midway through the afternoon, I had a subsequent conversation with Pastor Tony, but I'm not going to force my hand. I wanted to be asked. So I went over to the office across the hall and said, "Hey, Dave, can we talk for a minute?" And as soon as I sat down, he says, "You're supposed to do this, aren't you?" And it really made it easy. So that was back in October. So campus pastor means that I'm the person on the scene. I'm the person in the area. I'm only down a couple days a week at this point, usually Tuesday or Wednesday and Sunday, of course. But we're already just having opportunities to help out with the Morgan County football team uh, and with FCA. We did a July 3rd outreach. We've already had the week before Easter. We had an outreach on the lawn. We're just looking for ways to serve our community and be a part. I think the distinctive of our church is that we're here. The three tenets: we worship, connect, and serve. We want to make lifelong followers of Jesus, and we do that by worshiping both privately and corporately on Sundays. We have a 10:30 service. We have a lovely facility, have fantastically beautiful people, and worship team that's coming up. Yeah. And connecting with God and with others, helping people. We want to create some environments where people can connect relationally and grow spiritually. And then the third part of it is just serving. And that just means you see a need, you meet a need, trying to determine how can we best serve our community here. So I live out in Winder, so I have a little bit of a commute. Uh, but I have, like I said, I've been here almost a year, and I feel like we just got started getting.
Do you know a real estate agent if you want to move into the area?
I hear you. Yeah, got quite a few friends in real estate. They might be speaking. Yeah,
So, what would you say that people love most about this church?
that's pretty simple. It's the people. I mean, the church was not a building. We're blessed to have a beautiful building, but it's the people. Uh, Accepting, engaging, inviting, uh, care about you as people, not just, we're not about the numbers. We're small enough that people here don't get lost in a crowd. And we're looking, I feel like my job Jan, is to help people identify the thing that God has called them to do and facilitate being able to do that. I want to be a cheerleader. I want to be an advocate. I want to help come alongside you and fan into flame the thing that you feel like God wants you to do. And don't make that such a hyper spiritual kind of thing. That can be anything from meeting tangible needs to working with kids, coming alongside of the things that are happening in the community. We don't have a need to reinvent the wheel. We just want to come alongside it and join into the things that Morgan County loves and to add value in any time we can.
What would most people say or what is something that most people don't know about the church?
Well, you might be surprised that about 3 times out of 4 on a weekend when we have a live service, the praise and worship is in person, but Pastor Tony is on the screen. And that has it's been surprisingly to me, that's not been a hindrance whatsoever. He's a phenomenal teacher, but we everything else is live, and one time a month or so, I'll speak, or we'll have other people come in and speak. But I think that might be one thing we have. You think, gosh, we're a church our size. Do we have childcare? Do we have? And we do. We have both a preschool and children's church that's run by volunteers at this point from the Watkinsville church, but we're going to begin to take over those things ourselves. We'll start small groups this fall with a group called Freedom. It'll be on Wednesday nights. So we have Sunday mornings at 10:30 and Wednesday nights at 6:30. We have the best coffee in town because we use Zucchini roasters. And it's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of my favorite places in town, by the way, is Zucchini Roasters downtown with the cheese.
Mm-hmm. And just because Pastor Tony's on screen doesn't mean that he's not actively involved in this community as well. Because
Right.
he comes down all the time.
He comes down about once every 6 weeks or so and shares as well. So I don't feel like anybody's getting shortchanged in that area at all. But it really is the relationships. I mean, on a tough side already, one of the things that churches get to do is to come alongside when people are in difficult times. Like if they lose a loved one or something's going on, they're having a significant surgery. And I have found very quickly that this is one of the most caring group of people that just comes alongside. I remember one night you came in and we had a need in a foreign country, and we needed like $700 or $800 the next day, and we basically let the need be known. And before you left here that night, you had what you needed, and we were able to get it down there. That's happened more than once. And that's the kind of people that the Lord has brought here. I didn't bring them. The people were already here. I just needed to come alongside and be a part of that.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
So, what was it like when you first started here?
Um, it's different because I never aspired to be the senior pastor, campus pastor. I'm starting my 45th year in ministry. I've worn a lot of different hats, and this is a hat that I never aspired. I didn't get to say, "Wow, I want to be there someday when I grow up." No, not at all. I left but one of the things I was able to do here is to come alongside a group of people and provide pastoral care and leadership and guidance, facilitate that. So I think uh, I wasn't shocked by the time I was chosen to do that because I had been basically doing that and I just had the need. I saw that we needed more time here and I wanted to be here more. So I'm really pleased that the Lord opened.
So, what is the most memorable experience that you've had since you've been here?
There have been several good ones. One of the things that right on the bat was we had a really cool Christmas party last year that we brought my jazz band in, it was really cool. We packed out our little fellowship hall. Um, but this is going to again sound crazy. We had one event with children out here that was super well attended. We packed out the parking lot, which would have happened anyway, but just passed out ice creams and soft drinks and waters. And it was hot on June the 3rd. And we had our God provided His own fireworks after the fireworks show here to kind of close out the night in a quick fashion. But it was just so much fun. Uh, so those kind of opportunities, I just felt we'll have more of those kind of things coming down the pipe. One of my favorite things here too was when um, Coach Clint Jenkins is a friend of mine, and I've got to know him because his family attends in Watkinsville. So I got a guided tour for a couple hours with Coach Clint on his gator, traveling around, meeting everybody and hearing his vision for that. And now we'll be helping to serve this fall for Wednesday night suppers as well as the Friday night before the game suppers here. We just want to be a part of whatever the community. I believe that you see a need, you meet a need, and we're just kind of figuring out what's going on.
Okay. What has surprised you the most about being here?
Most surprising thing. Um, I think that we've been able to pretty quickly establish trust and rapport. Because we've been able to have caregivers for young families. Most people are surprised that we have the number of young families that we have, even as a church of 50 or 60 people. But we have a stable group of people that I think we can build on top of. But I think that happened quicker than I anticipated it might.
Okay. What do you, and you can, you're going to be able to share a little bit here about something that's near and dear and precious to your heart right now. But what do you like most about being a leader?
I like helping people find the thing that they've been called to do, the thing that arrests them, the thing that they laugh about, cry about, they care about, the burden they have in their heart, helping to probe that, creating opportunities for them to discover that, and then to develop the skills around that to do that, and affording them opportunities to make that happen, and then basically giving them space to do that, helping to if it's funding or financing or just supporting and encouraging. I really enjoy, um, like my first boss said, my job is to work myself out of a job. And I see that as the case. I look forward to the day that I'll be able to hand over the baton of leadership here to somebody younger and smarter and better looking than me. Yeah.
And to help with this next question, do you have any advice to give aspiring leaders? I know that you also just published a book. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah. As I shared earlier, I've been what I call a second chair leader. I've not sat in the corner office. Even at the college, I was privileged to serve at Manual College, at a pretty high level as a vice president or a dean of a school. But that's still not being the president. That's not being the senior pastor. Um, Aspirationally, I've never, that's just not the position I've had. So I call that, if you're thinking about a playing organization, if you're in a band, there might be 15 trumpet players and you've got a first chair, and then you've got everybody to the left of that. Well, the first chair player is a solo player in most sections. It's a little different in a jazz band. But I've sat in second chair or lower all these years. So my perspective is that's where most people serve. Very few people sit in the corner office. There are many, many more of us who serve. And to realize that all of us have a sphere of influence. We have people that will look to us for guidance, and people that in our sphere of influence that we will help to influence, hopefully in positive ways. But because of that, we want to be good stewards of that. I want to get better. I want to continue to grow and learn how to not just manage people well, but to help them grow. Uh, so my philosophy of leadership really has to do with you're serving other people, but you're facilitating, helping them to grow as well as helping the organization achieve the goals.
Okay, good. And hopefully we can put some information on the blog site with about your book as well.
Sure. You can get it at Amazon. It's called Second Chair Leadership. There's a digital copy as well as a paperback copy, and there will soon be an audio. I recorded the book itself, so soon there will also be an audio copy as well.
Okay, nice. So, who are some of your role models in the church and why?
Wow. Well, I won't give you the default answer of Jesus, but number one, I mean, but he is the best servant leader. I mean, the best leadership example. For me, people that have some of the role models in my personal life have been I had a band director who was a huge influence, mentors for me. My youth pastor was a guy named Frank Beard, who did for me, what I get to do for other people. Um, and I've had a number over the years, certainly inside Grace Fellowship. My pastor is someone I look to for guidance, and uh, that's kind of a mutual mentoring that happens there because I'm older than him. But my dad was a huge influence in my life as well as a grandfather. My grandfather was the janitor at First Methodist Church, but I learned an awful lot about serving people. Uh, and he was an amazing judge of character, but I saw him pull for the underdogs and help people do things that they wouldn't otherwise have been able to do, but he never did that from the top position. Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you see the future like here at Grace Fellowship Madison? What do you see the future as being like here?
Well, our goal is to continue to make lifelong followers of Jesus, and I think that being able to do that at a sustainable pace, we want to have fruit that remains. I'm not interested in having this colossal amount of flashbang kind of success. That I would rather have. I'd rather plod along and see us grow. When I say sustainable, I want to see us. I, I want people to follow Jesus 5 years from now, 10 years from now, rather than just make a big commitment that might be emotionally driven or circumstantially driven or to be impressed with this, that, and the other. No, we don't want the church to revolve around me or around a particular set of giftings or around Pastor Tony, but around Christ. And to be the body of Christ, I think that pastors come and go. And we need to, my dad used to say, if you think you're all that, stick your hand in a bucket of water, pull it out, show me your handprint.
Mhm.
Uh, Obviously, there's no such animal because we're all going to be replaced. I feel like that my role, just like anybody else's role, is temporary. That I'm going to be replaced, so I can either be proactive about that or I can let that happen. Um, but I want to be engaged in that, and I want to help facilitate that. And I want to be a good steward of that God has given us. So I feel like the future is nothing but up and to the right for us. I can see a church where we have um, a fully orbed ministry with student ministry that's viable with middle school and high school. Uh, and I know that's something you did. I've done for 20 years. That's a huge The next generation, be it first grade or 20-year-olds, college students, that's always going to be a huge part of my life. We're going to care about that, and we're going to do what we can to help serve those areas. What will that look like? I'm not sure. But I know that we'll continue. I think we'll be musically excellent. Uh, that's another set of my giftings. I care about those things. But we want to serve well, and we want the people in this area that should the church ever shut its doors, there was something that would be a huge hole where we were because not because we were special, but because we were helping to meet needs as we see them, and as God brings us people who have vision for burdens for different things, that will step in and help facilitate those.
So, what are your favorite things to do here in Madison?
Oh, that's an easy one. This is so boring and mundane. I love the downtown area, but what I love most about the downtown area is I love to walk. My best times to pray and think are walking. Right now it's really hot. It's really daylight. But the old cemetery past downstairs downtown. I love that. I park over next to the coffee shop, kind of behind the civic center, and head out that way. I love that area. That's obviously it's peaceful, but there's just something about that. Yeah, I love to walk, but any of the shops downtown that we've got a couple of great coffee shops
Mhm.
downtown, great eateries. Um, we found that vendors downtown also want to help. So it's not uncommon if we need something, say, hey, would you help out with this? That people discount for us. It's like that. So
So, on top of that, why do you think it's important for people to shop local?
well, we want to support the local merchants. When we bought uh, well, we bought like a refrigerator recently. My first question is who in town? Where was the best place to get that? We tried it instead of I just think that if we're in this community, we want to support this community, the vendors that are here. Uh, so I just think that that's true for any community. But this is a wonderful community. Why wouldn't you?
I love it.
Yeah.
By the way, where did you get the freezer? Locally?
Well, we did, yeah. We got it at Lowe's. Lowe's.
Lowe's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You never know. You're going to need
Shoot,
another
that was
freezer.
a driveway that took us 30 minutes. It was awesome.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah.
Well, folks, that wraps up another fantastic episode of Morgan County Movers and Shakers. If you enjoyed our conversation today, I'd be thrilled if you could show some love by hitting that like button. And if there's something you didn't quite vibe with, you can hit the dislike button. Your feedback matters. We want to hear from you, whether you have questions or feedback or you just simply want to share your opinion. Drop a comment below and let's keep the conversation going. Remember, if you know someone who should see this interview and discover the hidden gems of Morgan County, hit that share button. Let them know. Together, we can give our community the exposure that it needs. Now, to never miss another exciting episode filled with intriguing local businesses and business leaders and pastors and local leaders, hit that subscribe button, and you can get notifications by hitting the bell. So that way you can know every time we post another video. Because you want to stay in the loop and get to know Madison and Morgan County, don't you? Plus, your engagement plays a vital role in supporting local businesses, professionals, and leaders in our community. By interacting with this content, you're telling the platforms to share it with more people, contributing to the growth of our area. Thank you in advance for your valuable support. And speaking of supporting local professionals, if you're considering or buying or selling real estate in Morgan County or the surrounding area, I'm your friendly local real estate agent. I work with eXp Realty and I've been with them for about 2 years now. I have a deep understanding of Morgan County and I can guide you to your perfect home and negotiate great deals for you. But whether you're ready to make a move or not, you just want to talk real estate, I'm here. Just give me a chat. My contact information as well as Pastor Tracy's will be in the description below, and you can get us on our web pages and on this Park Bench platform. So thank you again so much for doing this for us, and we'll see what happens here at Grace Fellowship Madison. I'm excited about it. I'm
Me too.
really excited about what's going to happen. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks, Jen.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you next time.